Guys, you guys better be feeling good because over the next day and a half, 2 days, we're making some money in this very room here right now, okay? So what I'm going to walk you through this morning and go through tomorrow, as most of you are probably aware already, these days are around practice and delivery because amateurs practice until they get it right, professionals practice until they can't get it wrong. Okay, so your job here is to be an absolute professional. And an absolute professional is that you do it so off the heartbeat, so off the cuff, so fluently that it just comes natural to you. One of my challenges is oftentimes I do things so fast off the cuff and I don't know what I just did. So the someone's like, teach me what you just did. And I'm like, I don't know. Just came from here. And one of the things that I want to make very clear to you before we even begin is this word right here. Authenticity. Everything what I'm going to share with you over the next day and a half, 2 days is going to be tactical, strategic, wordplay, all of that sort of stuff. That is 60%. The other 40% is just natural, it's just flow. So the key is in terms of like the word tracks and the sentences and the phrases and the tonality and all of that stuff that I'm going to share with you, the key is to have all of those skills in your arsenal so that when you're in the live conversation, you're not thinking, oh shoot, what do I say next? It's just so natural to you because you've practiced it so frequently that it just rolls off your tongue. Okay, and it just feels fluent. So the key with selling really authentically and selling really well is not to try and remember what you need to say, but it's really about delivering the message in a really clear and compelling way that connects with the client. Because people will tell you all day long, oh, say it like this, or say this, or ask this question, or ask it this way, and all of that sort of stuff. And the truth is, if what you're doing works, work it. I was on a call with a lady who does social media stuff because looking at potential outsourcing some of our social media stuff, and her line was, "Well, I'm really good at social media, but she was like a 22-year-old girl or something like that. She was like, I absolutely suck at sales, but my business is crushing it right now." And I said, "What's your sales conversion?" And she went, 78%. I went, "You young lady, do not suck at sales." And technically, I got what she was saying because she wasn't technically good. But in her position, her brand speaks so well for herself, it doesn't matter. So for me to come in and go, like part of that question was around, well, can I give this girl some coaching? Can we do some sort of partnership swap here? She's selling at 78%, doesn't make a tweedle bit of a difference. So it's not worth her investing in my solution because she's almost at the peak of her performance anyway. So it's thinking about that sort of thing. And that's what we call authenticity as well. So you're going to ask questions in order to gain authentic clarity from the other person. And if there's not a dynamic opportunity for you to be able to help that person get from point A to point B, then you don't need to necessarily progress with that sale. That sale might be, okay, perfect. Look, who else do you know is in a challenging position that I might be able to help? Or it might just be a connection that say, hey, listen, it sounds like you're absolutely smashing it in this area. If there's something that we can do in the future, let me know. Or what else might you need help with? Or what else are you challenging with? How's this going? How many people in your team? Oh, I've got 16. How's that going? How are you managing 16 people? How are you finding that process? Oh, it's really challenging. Now I'm into another conversation, potentially some leadership training that she needs in there. You with me? So it's all about being authentic in the messaging and then being able to actually ask world-class questions that get your ideal client to persuade themselves that working with you is the best next thing. It is definitely absolutely not about telling people what to do. And that is one of the most frustrating things or challenging things and things that you would often see online is people are like, oh, you should do this and you should do that. No. You shouldn't do anything. What you should do is ask questions that get them to think that actually working with Andrew makes sense. It's a key takeaway line, by the way, is does it make sense? That is a key line that you want to insert into your sales conversations. Does it make sense for us to enroll you into this program today? Does it make sense for you to come down to our live 2-day training so that you can find out more about how we can help you? Does it make sense to join our event so that we can show you? Does it make sense to jump on a call together so that we can show you exactly what building your property portfolio might look like working with us, and then we get to decide whether it's a good fit? Does it make sense? Not we should or when should we, yeah? Does it make sense to? Because if you've done your job right, most of the time, almost 90% plus of the time, they're gonna go, yeah, it makes sense, let's do it. And whose decision was it then? Yours or theirs? Yes. It's their decision. And if it's their decision, are they more likely to show up or less likely? They're more likely. Even though I might have said, okay, perfect, let's enroll you into the program or what have you. If I said that to a person, let's say I said that 100 times. I said, hey, let's get you enrolled into this program, bang, 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 and I led the entire conversation. Maybe 10% of those times, I'm gonna get callbacks, oh, I can't make it, oh, it's not gonna work for me. However, if it's their decision, that reduces to more like 1%. You get what I'm saying? Because it's their decision to move forward. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about your problems and your challenges with sales, because my job is to serve you and give you as much clarity and direction as you need over the next day and a half, 2 days. And then we're going to walk through this system and this selling sequence here so that you understand it conceptually, because once you understand, let me move this over a bit. Once you understand the principle of where a potential client is, where you need them to go, everything else becomes easy. You go from problem and then demonstrate how your problem solves the solution. So we'll walk through that principle today. And then we will do practice hours. So before we go to lunch today, we're going to be practicing and rehearsing this process. And what I would like for you to do is to operate from where you are now in your business. Start to think about who are the potential clients that you're going to communicate this with, and what is the line of conversation that you're going to have with them. Here's why. I want you to make money today. So in the afternoon, we're actually going to be practicing some live sales calls as well, so that you can start to reach out to potential clients, existing clients, etc., so that you can start to generate some wins. And this will really get you into the habit and the flow of good conversation. Good conversation that you can start to transition. So we're going to do some practice hours before lunch, and then afterwards, we're going to do a call review after lunch, and then we'll do some live calls before we end today. Cool with everybody? Cool. Right, problems with sales. What challenges do you have with sales at the moment?
Keeping that level of authority when it comes to, I don't know, someone that you're dealing with that has more money than you, you almost feel like they're not an expert.
Oh, wow, perfect. Authority. So, does anyone, what ideas do we have that are springing to mind around dealing with authority? Go on, Jordan.
Frame.
How do you frame a conversation in a really powerful way?
Oh, are you asking me?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get from you.
Okay. So when you frame a conversation, and let's say I'm speaking with somebody who has, as I was the other day, someone that has a £6 million business. Okay. What I'm looking for is what are the weak points of that £6 million business. So first of all, don't be deterred by wherever they're at in their journey. They need you, they reached out to you, they connected with you for a reason, because you're good at what you do, yeah? And by the way, this is the same for absolutely everybody. Who was it? It was Ed Milet. Anyone know Ed Milet? Ed Milet is kind of like a version of a Tony Robbins in the US, right? He's big, he's massive, super multi-millionaire, absolutely smashing it, everything. And he said he coaches clients on mindset and stuff like that. And he's like, I got nervous because I'm coaching a president of the United States. Like, what do I fucking know about running a fucking country? So he says, even at this top level, you're still gonna get that, okay? So the way that you frame it is how can I help this person? What am I looking for in order to find their problem, and how can I find a solution that's going to serve them? So when I was on the call with this lady, I said, okay, so it's 6 million revenue business, perfect. How many team members do you have? Okay, excellent. And what's the profitability of that business? What are you taking home per year? And then she went, 120 grand. I said, that's your fucking problem. Now who's in a status of authority? It's come straight back to me because all I've been doing is asking questions, and I've been digging deeper. And what I'm going to share with you over the next 2 days is really frames of questions that you can and should ask that lead the other person to lean more into you. So this is where your client is, and this is the end journey of your solution and what it looks like on the other side. Your job as a professional is to find out where are they on this journey. All right, they're here. Okay, high revenue business, low profitability. Now, if you think of these as questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, think of these as 7 questions that I'm going to ask to move them from here to here to here to here to here to here to here. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just moving them closer to me with qualifying questions. I had a guy and his partner on a call the other day, and the first 2 minutes of that conversation, I didn't know whether I wanted to work with these people. My head was going, this guy is like way too aggressive. Like, should I work with this person? And then I thought, frame, let me be a professional and actually find out more. Because in the first 2 minutes, you don't know yet. So then I started asking questions such as, so this is a killer line that I want you to frame in as well. He says to me, so essentially, I put a post up on Instagram. His wife contacted me, and I said, what are you generating right now per month? She went, 10 grand a month. I said, perfect. She's in property. I said, let's jump on a call. Booked a call. And her and her husband, their business partner, so they came on. So the husband, I've never interacted with him before, and he's given it what you would call the big one, yeah? So then, partway through the conversation, about 12 minutes in, he goes, I'm also asking questions about their business and what they're doing and stuff. I'm in the problem phase still, yeah? And then he's like, so tell us about you, Jazz. Why should we work with you? And I went, well, maybe you shouldn't. What does that say, Andrew?
I'm not desperate.
Yeah, it's fine. There's a guy called Matt Elwell said this to me at dinner the other day, and I just found it really, really insightful. He went, we were all at dinner, because I'm in a mastermind group with Matt Elwell and a few others, and Matt Elwell was a sales trainer, by the way. So the guy goes, he's in this meeting about this 6-figure deal, this 150 grand contract or whatever it is. And he's in the meeting, and the lady says, he's in a meeting with a company. This company is a $1 billion company, and in sales training. And now they're in negotiation for the contract. And he goes, contract seems all good. However, one problem. Problem is, it's asking me to fly to Dallas, and it doesn't say first class on the seat. So he's in a meeting with 12 executives, and they're like, well, we always fly our trainers out standard, and that's just the way it's going to be. He said, okay, perfect, I'll leave it then. I'm good, thank you. And the room was just like that, freaking dead silent, right? And then we're at the dinner table, and the guy goes, well, like, wouldn't you have got upset or annoyed at yourself if you lost the contract on that basis? In the end, he got it because they knew. He was like, he's good, right? So if you want it, take it. But he said, well, I didn't have it in the first place. He said, no, but the contract was there. It was in front of you. It's like, yeah, but I didn't have it in. It's like, yeah, but you wanted that 6-figure deal that's probably going to lead to £1 million contract. He said, yeah, but I don't have it right now. I don't have it until that contract is signed. And either way, I'm good. And that's how you've got to operate in terms of frame, authority. Is that helpful? Yeah, perfect. Okay, good. What else?
So, Jack,
Go on.
what was the line though? You said the killer line. I didn't pick up which.
When the guy said to me,
Maybe you shouldn't let
Maybe you should work with
what did I say specifically? I'm trying to remember exactly what I said rather than the kind of things that I would say. I can't remember exactly what I said, and I'll probably show it to you later on. But it was about pulling back rather than leaning in. And it's kind of like, you need me more than I need you. And that is the whole purpose of sales, by the way, and communication. Because if you can't add more value than what you charge, then you're in the wrong, then you shouldn't be running a business. That is the whole intentionality around running your business. So it's knowing when, Andrew, to pull back and go, if someone's like arguing with me, I might go, maybe it's not the best thing for you. Maybe you should stay where you are. No, maybe you shouldn't get a guy. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you don't really want to scale your business. You sound half committed right now, and I want to work with committed people. And then they're like, oh, I want to be, yeah. And not all the time, but sometimes they are, sometimes they're not, and sometimes we just leave them be. But that level of authority and knowing when to lean back. So especially with a dominant male or somebody that is perceptually more dominant than you, then it's really knowing when to lean back and just ask those questions of, well, what happens if things stay the same? He said, well, what? Like, tell me about you. Why should we work with you? And I said, here's what I said. He said to me something like, I don't want you to guarantee results or anything like that, but I just want to know, like, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I'm not going to guarantee that you're going to double your business, but here's the thing. Here's what I can guarantee, and here's what I can tell you, that I helped dozens of clients do it before. And I'm open to helping you if you're open to the support. That's authority now, isn't it? Because now I've demonstrated clearly who I am, what I can do, and I've not tried to oversell it, if that makes sense. Yeah? You had something?
Yeah, so just on the authority, Jazz, just to help everyone, you find it's a lot easier to be in that position of authority when you don't need to sell, or you've got money in the bank and what have you. When you're not in that position, what would you say the best way is for someone to act like the authority? Because there's many people that will downsell because, do you understand what I mean? Like, we know people that have done that before.
Come from a place of here, service. So it's not, whether I need the money or you need the money or not is immaterial. It's coming from a place of finding out how I can best serve Samantha in her position and my position. So if that best way that I can serve her, if I'm starting out and I don't really feel authority, if that's to provide a lower fee, which isn't something that typically we recommend, but the best rule is there are no freaking rules, yeah? As in, like, if it works, then it works. So we will always tell you, like, different ways to level it up and so that you don't fall into that situation again, sure, but if it works, it works. So the best way to deal with that is really to eliminate all other options. As in, when I'm speaking with Samantha and I'm trying to work out if it's a good situation for both of us to work together. Let's say I say to Samantha, okay, perfect. So it's a 10 grand program, and here's what we're going to do. Over the next 12 months, we're going to work with you to double your business and so on and so forth. Now, what do we need to do to get you enrolled? Now, I know that you want to double your business. What do we need to do to get you enrolled into this world-class opportunity today? Say to me, I don't have 10 grand.
I don't have 10K.
Perfect. So here's my job now. As soon as she says, I don't have 10K, my job is to find out by asking a series of somewhere between, and I'm not counting necessarily, but somewhere typically between 3 to 7 questions that are going to uncover how much of that is true. or how much of that is accurate. So if she says, I don't have 10K, perfect. And is there anywhere else that you can potentially access the funding? Totally got that you don't have 10 grand in your bank account right now. Not many people do. Are there any other options that you can look at in order to access the funding? She might go, no, totally maxed out, all credit cards maxed out. Ah, perfect. Again, agreeing again, yeah, I'm aligned with her. Okay, perfect. And I don't know if there's any like friends, family members that would be for the perfect situation that might be willing to open you to that opportunity. Absolutely not. Okay, got it. So you don't have 10 grand. And is there anything else, by the way, that's stopping you from moving forward? No, nothing else. It's just the money. Perfect. And what do you have available that could potentially get you into this opportunity today so that we can help you to double your business over the next 12 months? What did I just say just then that was standing out?
What do you have that's available
Yeah.
today?
Today that we could potentially use in order to help you. Now, if I'm going back to what Daryl said, if I quote unquote need the sale, or to quote Daryl's words, I would probably use different language, but if I was desperate, so what could you do? Okay. And Samantha goes, well, I've only got 5 grand, or I've only got 3 grand. Oh, amazing. So we do have a second option for you, which is Money Mastery Live at 2 grand. And here's what we're going to do over those 4 days to help you really start to see a significant increase in your business. So that might be an option. Or she goes, oh, I'll tell you what, really want to. So then I can start to reposition what I'm doing. She goes, oh, I don't have any money at all. Tell you what. If I can create something absolutely world class for what you have available right now, would there be anything stopping you from moving forward today? No. And then what I can do, Andrew and Daryl, is then I can create a bespoke solution. Does that make sense? So now I can, but here's the thing, is that I'm always in control of what I'm doing. And here's the line that you should use and write this down. I don't know if we can do this, but. So I'm on the phone to the guy and his wife the other day, and they've gone, perfect. We want to do the program with you. However, thing in the way is cash flow. We don't have 30 grand right now. No problem. Went through those stages of questions. No. What do you have available? Well, we can probably get 5 grand by the end of the week. I don't know if we can do this, Mark, but if there was a situation where we could get you started with 5 grand, and then we created the remaining balance over the next, say, 60 days, because I know that you've got some invoices clearing. Would that be a workable solution for you, considering that you're able to complete by Friday? Yeah, sure. Okay, perfect. So let me send you the invoice of 5K to get you started, and then we can do the first initial consultation, and then following that, we can do X, Y, and Z. And then I can just put my stipulations in place after the fact. Make sense? As in, whatever those stipulations might be, okay? Or the second consultation won't take place until the second installment is done, or we can agree what we can agree. Does that answer your question? Yeah. So it's really looking at what kills people, professionals and salespeople alike, is when they don't explore all the options. That really annoys me.
I was really asking the question because I find a lot of people suffer from that imposter syndrome. That I'm selling a product that, especially if they're brand new, they've never sold it before. It's sometimes hard for them to sell at a certain position because, like, wow, I've never sold this before. So coming from that position of authority, but they've never actually sold it before in the first place. So I was just wanting you to speak to that.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this the other day. So I've got an offer that's 120 grand. And that's private client. Essentially, it's 1 day a month, live in person with me, and I'll coach you to scale your business. Thinking about it, I don't want to sell it. What does that mean? That means that it involves so much time and energy that actually does it make it really viable for me? And the answer is, I can probably spend those 12 days doing more valuable stuff that makes me more money. As in, I'm probably better off selling 10 clients at 10K or whatever it might be, or 15K, in order to do it more in a group environment. That's way more efficient for me, okay? So kind of a side note to your question, but the key frame is really considering what time commitment do you have versus what money are they going to pay.